Alright Knicks fans, the NBA offseason is heating up, and while we're still waiting to see how the coaching search shakes out, the front office is already moving behind the scenes, lining up free agent targets to round out this roster. Now let's talk about something that kinda got buried in the news cycle, but it actually is really important. The Knicks have a $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level exception to use this summer. And according to The Athletic's James Edwards III, yes, the same James Edwards who's been plugged in on Knicks stuff before, New York already has a list of names in mind. So who's on that list and who should be? Let's start with the first name he mentions, and that is Luke Kennard. And look, I think this one actually makes a lot of sense. He's represented by CAA, so you already know the connection is there, and more importantly, the guy can shoot the hell out of the ball. He led the entire league in three-point percentage just a year ago, and even in a bit of a down year this past season in Memphis, he still shot over 43% from three. The only question here is health. Kennard's had a tough time staying on the floor consistently throughout his career, but this past season he actually played in 65 games. But if you're the Knicks and you can get him for that mid-level, it's a calculated risk. The shooting upside is just too real. Then we got another player mentioned in Spencer Dinwiddie. This one's interesting because on one hand, Dinwiddie brings size and scoring at the guard position, but on the other hand, his three-point percentage has fallen off a cliff lately at only 33% last season. But again, if you're just trying to solidify your bench and add some experience depth, he's not the worst option to throw in the mix. Next up is Trey Lyles, solid, versatile forward who can stretch the floor a little and defend across a couple positions and bring some toughness. He's not a flashy name, but he's a high IQ player who's been in playoff environments and knows how to contribute without needing the ball. The only question is whether he'd take the taxpayer mid-level exception or whether he gets a better offer elsewhere. And then there's Al Horford. This is a wild card. He's obviously getting up there in age and you don't expect him to play major minutes. But if you were willing to come in on a one-year deal to chase a ring, his leadership, experience, and ability to still hit shots and anchor a second unit defense, that's not something you just ignore. Especially if you think you're a true contender next year, which the Knicks absolutely believe they are. Now for the minimum guys, James Edwards also threw out a couple names here, and that is Landry Shamet and Delon Wright, the current Knicks. Shamet's had an up and down career, but he's another guy who fits that can come off the bench and hit shots mold. Doesn't need to be flashy, but just be reliable. With Delon, you're talking about a smart veteran guard who can defend, handle the ball, and stay out of the way. He's basically a steadier version of what we got from Campaign at times last year. And let's just say this, while all these names are interesting, the Knicks have to be extremely precise with how they use this MLE. Remember, it's not just about adding talent, it's about complementing Jalen Brunson, giving OG Anunoby and Josh Hart more space to work with, and ultimately surrounding this core with playoff-tested guys who fit the identity of the team. We also have to factor in Tyler Kolek. Yeah, he's not getting major buzz yet, but if he shows major improvement defensively and looks sharp in Summer League, do not be shocked if he earns consideration for a real rotation spot at backup point guard next year. That could change how the Knicks prioritize this MLE, and maybe they use it on a forward or a wing instead of a guard. But bottom line, the Knicks are in a great spot to be selective. This isn't about throwing money at the biggest name possible. This is about rounding out a roster that just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and could be one or two smart moves away from taking the leap to the finals. But let me know what you think in the comments. Should the Knicks go all in for a shooter like Kennard, bring in a vet like Horford, or hold off and see how the coaching situation plays out first? And as always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss all summer long. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.